The NATO Chief Mark Rutte has denied the recent meeting between Ukraine's Volodymyr Zelensky and America's President Donald Trump was a disaster. As David Blevins reports, he's in Washington, D.C. ahead of a meeting with the US President today as efforts continue to end the war in Ukraine.
Plans for a second Trump-Putin summit have been put on hold. That is an indication, many believe, that Russia was not prepared to agree a ceasefire in advance of any negotiations around territory, and therefore Washington wasn't prepared to risk a summit that might deliver nothing. And then amid reports of a very heated exchange between Trump and Zelensky last Friday, Ukraine's ambassador to the United States has conceded that there was candid dialogue. You can't be indifferent, she says, when lives are being lost in the war. That difficult meeting last Friday prompted a joint statement from European leaders, and now the NATO Chief Mark Rutte is in Washington for a meeting with Donald Trump. That is fueling speculation that things really didn't go well last Friday, so that's what I asked the NATO Secretary-General about when we caught up with him a short time ago. Secretary-General, Sky News, can we just ask, is your visit here at this moment not an indication that President Trump's meeting with President Zelensky on Friday was a total disaster?
No, not at all, because this was already planned before. I was texting with the President after an enormous success in Gaza, and we said, hey, let's have a meeting in Washington to discuss how we now can deliver his vision on peace in Ukraine. And when it comes to the meeting last week, Friday, you have also heard President Zelensky. I think that was a good meeting. It was a successful meeting. It's exactly what we need. It's the American president who broke the deadlock with Putin in February, took that leadership role, which only he can, and he is delivering, and I'm really commending him for that. So that was a good meeting, and we will build on that.
Mark Rutte has had a very peacemaking role here. We know that the relationship between Trump and Zelensky's been on-off. We remember the very public row they had at the White House back in February. Then they appeared to make up in the summer, and now there are reports of a blazing row again last Friday. The chemistry between Trump and Rutte is very different because Trump respects him in terms of the direction of travel on NATO spending, but also Mark Rutte knows how to play Donald Trump. You'll remember he famously described him as Daddy and Dear Donald then later in the year. He's due to meet the US President at the White House this afternoon, so let's see how he gets on with Dear Donald this time.